Hey, what is going on, my fellow godlies and Warframe enthusiasts around the world? I'm Vance from Warframe God Builds, and what the fuck is this? This companion. It's got no head. So, the helmet that would usually go on a Kubro is just sitting there floating. I don't understand. It's actually comical. No, I know what you're thinking. This is not a mod. This is not a glitch. This was actually added into the game. This is a real deal, guys. If you don't know already, this is a real deal. this is just great. Alright, but seriously though, all this companion is a shrunken down model of Forward, which to me, in my opinion, is very lazy. I hope to God that this is not another system that DE intends to introduce without any polish later on down the road. I hope what they're going to do is find appropriate measurements or do whatever it takes to shrink down the model of the Juggernaut Behemoth, because aesthetically this just looks better, and you would be able to shrink or just add in Kubro armor where the Forward model just cannot fit it. It doesn't have a head. So with the Juggernaut Behemoth model, you could definitely reproportion your Kubro armor and make it fit justifiably so. That and the fact that I just think that the Juggernaut Behemoth is more well done. I think that it's a superior model in terms of what Forward has to offer. Forward is a solid boss on his own, but I don't think that, you know, shrinking him down does an Infested companion justification. I mean, let's be honest here. A lot of us would be satisfied if only they would just upscale the size of the maggot and give that to us as a companion. That would be a whole lot more amusing than what we've got here, because I mean it's just really lazy. What I will say about the way that this companion was presented to us is that this was a really amazing idea. I mean, if any of you had opened the Infested room with Nidus, or even if you didn't but you touched an infected Nidus player, you got this little cyst on your neck, and it's still going on. It's you still get touched and all your other Warframes grow the cyst out of their neck. But it's really cool how you can essentially drain the fluid out of the cyst and put it in the Kubro egg, thus having your companion be an Infested companion. But yet again, it's something that they need to improve on, because it's a system that they just introduced without, properly polishing it. I mean, essentially what's going on here is that you'll touch an infected Nidus player, and then you'll get the cyst on your neck, it'll start to grow, and you may not want it there. I mean, with my Loki, my Atlas, a lot of the users that I'm playing, a lot of the Warframes that I'm playing, I don't want that cyst there. It offends me aesthetically. I can't change the color of it, I can't remove it, so I hope that Digital Extremes adds an option to get rid of it or hide it or do whatever with it, because it's, again, yet another system that was just introduced without, proper polish. Again, like I said, the introduction of this companion was phenomenal. It was great. I was not expecting that. Admittedly, when I did the Nidus quest review, I talked about how this was kind of a letdown, and it was only because of a letdown because I didn't have the full story. Now that I've got the full story, I hope that there's more expansion on the way. I hope that this little tube chair, or it looks like, a screwed up version like of a, I don't know, like a dentist chair in a little stasis tube. I don't know what's going on here, but I hope that this is the solution for the cyst on our neck. I hope that eventually this will open up and we can sit down and get that cyst removed. I wouldn't mind if it was linked in with a quest. I just don't want them to push it for a cinematic quest, because it's an issue in game. I've seen a couple of players complaining about it, and I myself don't like the cyst being there too much. So I would like to see DE address that. But this companion is very nice, and I want to talk about him in closing of this video really quickly. So I'm not really sure if we needed a new companion all that much, But I know one thing that I'm 100% sure of. We definitely did not need knockoff Kubro mods. I mean, this is, again, this is laziness. I hope that, Digital Extremes, maybe they were just doing this, they were trying to rush this content out, that way they could get off to their New Year's, celebrate their New Year's Day and whatnot. But when you get back to office, you gotta make some additions to this to make it be worth our time, because other than the damage, which is a whole lot more than the Kubro, it's unappealing. We essentially need a reason to choose a Helminth Charger over our Kubros. And I have some suggestions here. I think that with the Helminth Ferocity, it could leave behind a toxic pool similar to the Mutilus Moas. Maybe change up the animation for the Helminth Ferocity. Make it so instead of biting its enemy down, it just, shakes its ass and then spews that goo, that mustard gas fluid all over the floor, all that mucus, all that slimy, great stuff we love to get hit by. Yeah, maybe have that all over the target that it's shooting at. And then with the Helminth Hunt, I noticed that it does like a little charge where it kind of sits there for a second and then stampedes forward, and a lot of the times it just splits the enemy in half. What I would like to see happen with this one in particular is I would like to see the Mutilus Offspray, how they shoot through the air and they launch like a toxic cloud behind them. I would like our Infested to leave a toxic cloud behind them when they charge. That way anything that gets within its trail, it does damage over time. Obviously the damage over time would be proportionally scaled, a little bit less than the initial attack itself, but still, nevertheless, still do damage over time. Because like I said, we definitely do need a reason to choose the Helminth Charger over the Kubro, and the aesthetics need to be changed because they're just not working. In terms of Kubro armor, it's just not working. I don't know if DE is planning on adding the Infested specific armor, but I would actually opt against that, because I would like to see, there's 4 types of Kubros, there's a bunch of types of armor, and I really think that they should just change the model of the Infested type. That way it can incorporate and encompass the Kubro armor a little bit more, because essentially what's going on right now is you've got floating helmets, and that's just not cool. But all in all, I do love the idea. I thought the execution was 10 out of 10. It really surprised me. It's something that I didn't see coming, and it's a welcome change. We definitely need more companions moving forward, and I hope that they're eventually going to change this whole area and let us have multiple pets out at once. Not active, but just so I could go in and equip my Kubro or my Kavat, because essentially all of them are in stasis right now, so all I can select from is Sentinels. And I prefer to use a Kubro with one of my loadouts, and I prefer to use a Kavat with another. So I really want to see them add some sort of deal where we can have multiple active pets at once without having them in stasis. That way we can select from them in the loadouts. So that's kind of been like my review-esque thing on the Infested companion. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just so funny looking at it with no head underneath the helmet. But if you like this video and it was informative, it always helps if you smash that like button and comment, rate, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And until next time, I'm Vance signing off. Peace.